We know this. We've talked about this. Dividing a number is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So that's one thing that we know. Today's another one of those days. I'm not teaching you a thing. Everything I'm going to show you is something you already know how to do. We've been talking about multiplying and dividing fractions. You know how to multiply and divide fractions. You know how to do all of that. You know how to do algebra. We're just putting it together. So, we have a problem that looks like this. Solve each equation. Write the answer in simplest form. What are my two rules of algebra? Rule number one is what? Find out what's happening to the variable. And rule number two? Oh yeah, do it to both sides. Part of rule number one is also find out what's happening to the variable and do the opposite of that. And rule number two is do it to both sides of this equal sign. Remember, this equal sign is a teeter-totter. Whatever you do to one, you have to do the other. Otherwise, we're playing teeter-totter with a large person and a small person. And the small person goes. So, what's happening to the 7 here? What's happening to the x? What's happening to the variable? Yeah. It's being multiplied by 7. So what's the exact opposite of multiplying by 7? Divide by 7. So we do this, divided by 7 here, and then we divide by 7. I'm gonna write it like that just so that you guys see what you're used to. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so that ends up going away. We're left with x equals 2/5 divided by 7. Okay? That looks just like what the homework you did for today and did for the day before. What do we have to do here? What's my first step now? Yeah. Well, we could find the reciprocal, but actually the very first thing I want to do is get these both in fraction form. So I'm going to have 2/5 divided by 7 over 1, because 7, the whole number 7 as a fraction is just 7 over 1. Now we'll do the reciprocal. So we go 2/5 times 1 over 7. We multiply because in order to divide fractions, we just multiply by the reciprocal. So we look for our greatest common factors. 2 and 7, there isn't one. 5 and 1, there isn't one. So we just end up multiplying it all together. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 7 is 35. That's in reduced form. So x equals 2 over 35. You think you can handle this kind of problem? I told you, I'm not teaching you anything you don't know. This is all stuff. We've been working with this stuff all year long. We've been working with the algebra, and we're just putting it together. Go home tonight, and when your mom asks you, or dad, or whoever asks you, what did you learn in school today? Say, nothing. We're just talking about algebraic expressions with fractions in them. And watch them go, huh? They'll get a look of confusion on their face. They're like, I don't know how to do that. That's what they'll do. But you go, no, it's easy. Which it really is. You just got to remember all your rules. Why don't you guys get a whiteboard? We'll try a couple together. If you look at this problem right here, it says 5y over 8 equals 6. You know, this is the same as this. 5/8 y. Look at it that way. Look at it as 5/8 y equals 6. Not like this, not 5y over 8. I want you to look at it as 5/8 y. That will help you to solve the problem. What is happening to our variable in this problem? Being multiplied by 5/8. So what's the exact opposite of multiply by 5/8? Divide by 5/8. So we do this, divided by 5, oops. Divided by 5/8. We have to do it to both sides. Divided by 5/8. That goes away. We're left with y equals this problem, 6 divided by 5/8. What's the first thing I need to do? Get them into fraction form, both of them. So we have 6 over 1 divided by 5/8. And actually, we just need to then flip it around. We have 6 over 1 times 8 over 5. I look for greatest common factors. I don't see any. 6 times 8 is 48. 1 times 5 is 5. And that's going to reduce to, what, 9 3/5? So y equals 9 3/5. Now, what do I need to see on your homework? Well, honestly, I'm going to need to see just about all of this. This you don't have to show me. You need to show me that 6 divided by 5/8. Then I want you to show me that you flipped it and then solved it. I know it's a lot. I understand that it's a lot. But if I can see all of those steps, if you make a mistake, it's really easy for me then to look at it and go through it step by step and then help you. That's why I need all of that. So on your whiteboard, I want you guys to work out that one. Okay, now I want to, there was something I saw a couple people do, and I remember from last year, students doing this, is instead of dividing, and then you divide by 3/4 on this side, and then you divide on 3/4 on this side, but for some reason, I have seen people do this, where they want to put the 3/4 in there. And so they have this problem where they have 3/4 divided by 19. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You have to put that divided by 3/4 on the end. Don't do that, because you will end up with an answer that is incorrect. It's 19 divided by 3/4. Because you divide by 3/4 on that side, you divide by 3/4 on that side. So we're going to have j equals 19, which is basically 19 over 1 divided by 3/4. Then we have to flip it. So we have 19 over 1 times 4 over 3. There is no greatest common factors to use. This is going to be, what did I figure out, 76? Is that right? 76 over 3, which turns out to be 25 1/3. You guys try one more. All right. So with this problem, you divide by 3 here, you divide by 3 here, you end up with x equals 1/7 divided by 3, which is actually 1/7 divided by 3 over 1, which is 1/7 times 1 over 3, which is 1 over 21. Okay? That is how your homework should look. Except I want x equals at the end. X equals 1 over 21. Now, you're going to see some other problems. Some other problems that are going to look like this. It's going to look like x over 5 equals 35. You're going to have a problem that looks like that. Somebody tell me what is happening to the variable. It's being divided by 5. Now we're going to do something a little different. It's being divided by 5. What is the opposite of dividing by 5? Multiplying by 5. So we multiply by 5 on this side. We multiply by 5 on this side. That goes away. We're left with x equals 35 times 5, which is big. It's something like, let's see, that's 150 plus 25 is 175. X equals 175. Okay? Do you see that? Remember your rules of algebra. Rule number 1, figure out what's happening to the letter and do the opposite. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is do it to both sides. When you've gotten through both of those steps and then you solve, you will be done. What I want you guys to accomplish for tomorrow is I want you to do page 276, 6 to 30 even.